Welcome back! In the last few videos, we learned about classes in JavaScript. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and continue on that topic. Mainly, we're going to go ahead and focus on inheritance. So to get started, if you go ahead and go into your project folder, if you can go ahead and go into the 37-inheritance folder, then in the start subfolder, if you go ahead and open up main.js, then in your browser, if you can go ahead and open up the index.html, you should see inheritance on the web page. So in main.js, you should see the user profile class that we created in our last lesson. So in JavaScript, class inheritance is a way for us to create a brand new class and have that new class inherit all of the methods and properties from the original class. So one way to think of it is we could have a parent class. For example, this could be a user profile class, and we could create a brand new class that extends our user profile class. So we'll call this custom user profile. And this new class could have any new properties and methods that we want. And the great thing is, all of these existing methods and properties will be available for that child class to use. So to see an example of this, what we'll do is we'll come down to the bottom of our code, and let's go ahead and create a brand new class. So we'll use the class keyword. Let's go ahead and call this custom profile. And then we'll go ahead and do our opening and closing curly brackets. So in order for one class to inherit from another class, we have to use the extends keyword. So we're going to go ahead and do extends, and then we need to provide the name of the class that we want to extend. So in our case, it's going to be user profile. So then to fully inherit from our class, we have to do one other thing, and we need to create a constructor. And inside this constructor, the first thing we have to do is call the super method. And what the super method does is it refers to our parent class. And when we extend a class, it is required that you have a constructor that invokes the super method. Because then basically what's going to happen is the super method is going to invoke our constructor on our parent class. So it's going to go ahead and invoke this constructor here and then set up our properties. So to see an example, what we're going to do is I'm just going to create a brand new variable, and I'm just going to call it user, and I'm going to go ahead and set equal to a new custom profile. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a console log, and I'm going to go ahead and console log our user. So now if we go ahead and save and refresh, you'll see right away we have a brand new object, and it's of the type custom profile. And right away, we see that our first name is undefined, last name is undefined, and that our full name is undefined, undefined. And the reason for that is because for our custom profile, we did not pass any arguments. So no arguments were passed to our constructor, so we did not pass those to our parent's constructor call. However, you can see all of the properties that we defined are available on this object. So if I go ahead and do our user object, and I go ahead and do full name, I can go ahead and set that to the name I want to utilize. So test 1. And then if I go ahead and log my user object after I do this, you'll see in our object, our first name was set, our last name was set, and our full name was set as well. So in order to properly set our first name and last name variables, what we need to do is we need to pass these as arguments. So I'm going to go ahead and pass Steve, and I'm going to go ahead and pass Smith. And then what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to go ahead and comment out these two lines. And then in our constructor, for our custom profile, I'm going to go ahead and take first name as a parameter, last name as a parameter, and then I'm going to go ahead and pass those into our super method call here as arguments. So now if we go ahead and save and refresh, you'll see our custom profile has Steve Smith set as the first name. Yes, because we actually need to do a string followed by a comma, then another string. So if we go ahead and save and refresh, now we have what we are expecting. So we have first name Steve, last name Smith, and our full name is Steve Smith. So this is great, but as you can see, we have not really done much with our custom profile. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a brand new parameter, and I'm going to have this called password. So then after our super call, I'm going to do this.password, and I'm going to set it equal to password. So So then down here, when we instantiate our new object, I'm just going to go ahead and have a password of 1234. I'm going to go ahead and save. So now if I go ahead and refresh our page, so you'll see in addition to the existing properties that we inherited from our parent class, we have our own property called password with its value. So as you can see, inheritance is really powerful, and it's very useful for code reusability. It allows us to reuse properties and methods of an existing class when we create our brand new class.